Hello, everybody, and you are chilling with Jenny C right here on tmvcafe.com, bringing you entertainment to your ears. And I got my next guest that is joining me. It's been 3 years since she last was on the show. She's under a different name, but she's still getting the pop, patchy tunes that you know and love. And this whole 30 minutes before I got her on here, I was playing music just to fill time. Um, I literally mispronounced her name and I just realized it after the fact. So I got it right, and her name is literally right behind her. So ain't no way I can screw this up. So, ladies and gentlemen, her latest single is Never Fade. It is available on the streaming platforms right now. SOZI is with me right now. How's it going?
Doing well. How are you, Kenny?
Good, good. Thank you so much for being back on the show.
Yeah, very excited to be back here, and this time on a video call. Last time we did a phone call.
Yes, let's just say I have evolved with technology since the last.
Amazing.
I've gone from call-ins. I mean, I still do. It's still a viable option,
Yeah,
but I'm really loving these Zooms. I'm loving the Zooms. It's something that become very useful during the pandemic
yeah,
when we all
I
had to be at
understand that.
home. So I said, you know what? Somebody convinced me to do Zoom. I said, okay. It took me a while to get to the swing of things, and I'm become very comfortable with that.
No, you're a
So
pro.
I feel so professional. I'm a professional Zoomer.
Amazing.
So this time have evolved indeed. So, as I said in the introduction, you was under a different name. Now you
Yes.
go by SOZI. So I will start with that. What made you go with the name change per se?
Yeah, so you knew me as Sophia Zorian, which is my given name and also my writer name. So that's always something I go by in general. So if you look at my credits, my writing credit will always say Sophia Zorian. As a producer, I'll go by SOZI as well as an artist. What caused that change was just this need to kind of detach the performance name from my regular name to kind of give myself a feeling to be openly expressive in a way that isn't just like in my mind mentally attached to a name I grew up with. If that makes any sense, it just gave me this freedom to explore new sounds, genres, and it just made me feel more authentic with my artistry. So I've been really enjoying the process of becoming Sozy and like understanding who I represent as an artist and as Sozy.
So when I saw the name on my timeline, I'm thinking, wow, she followed me. So I say, okay, let me look and see. And then I look at the DMs. I'm like, wait a minute, she's familiar. And then and she pointed out the credits. She's like, let me look, dig deep here. And oh my God, it's the same person.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, where have I been these last 3 years? I mean, so I have been listening to your recent music under your stage name, and I love your music. I love the songs that you have been putting out. Um,
Thank you.
so it definitely gives you that feel, that driven name there, and that over expressive. I feel like most artists definitely feel some kind of way with that. So just you got the name, and now it's like, let me really show y'all who I am from this how I really am as a person, as a artist, as a performer. So I
Yes,
wanna
exactly.
so Never Fade is your latest single.
Yes.
and that's available on all the streaming platforms. Talk a little bit about how that song came about.
So that song has like a very special way that it came to fruition. Back in 2020, when the pandemic was going on, that's when I started Zoom sessions. That's when, right before that, is when I started learning how to produce. So I had, I got this microphone, I got my Apollo interface, and I started learning how to do production on my own, how to create my ideas that I, heard in my head and put it onto a DAW and bring that idea to life. And one of my mentors, Adam McInnes, he was looking to work with someone on an emotional brief song. In the sync world, when you get briefs for film and TV, and I was super down to try out my new skills. And the turnaround time was wild. It was 48 hours to basically write a song, record it, and have a finished product basically at the end of it. So him and I had a session, we wrote the chorus, and then I basically wrote the rest of the track. And it was so beautiful, and it was a different kind of song that I haven't done before, more emotional. And I had gone through some losses around that time, after that time, so that song hits really deep for me, for just that never fade of like the person's memory will never fade. And it could mean different things. It could mean someone who you maybe no longer speaking to, or someone's just not in your life anymore. So that's how the meaning of that song evolved for me. And well, that song kind of, after the 48 hours, I finished it. Like, we got pre-review, everyone loved it. And he sent it to his library and whatnot, whoever he was going to send it to. And it kind of sat there for 3 years. And then I got a brief not too long ago, maybe like a few months ago, from What Up Pitches. And that song kind of fit that vibe. So I sent it to them and they signed the song. And a few months later, I get an email from them saying it got synced on Love is Blind, the new season 5, episode 3. So that song is actually on TV on Netflix. And I decided to release it simultaneously with that episode. So it came out September 22nd. So that was a really cool moment for me to see that song on an episode of Love is Blind, which I actually watched that show. So it was a really cool moment to hear my voice on TV.
So that's actually a nice segue into what I was going to ask next. That's a big deal, having your music included on a Netflix series. Love is Blind is one of the biggest shows on Netflix. You can say it's one of the biggest shows streaming or television, obviously. So, what was your reaction when you got the word, hey, we want to feature your song on an episode, given and the fact that you are a fan of Love is Blind to begin with? What was your immediate reaction when you got the word that they wanted to feature your song?
I was so excited. I couldn't believe it. And it's wild because when you like wait for that kind of moment, throughout the years, when you're like, doing these sync briefs and submitting to libraries to have your songs represented, and then you're like sitting there like, will it ever hit? And then when it finally does, you're like, you can't believe it almost. You're just like, no way. Like, and then you always hold your breath, like, is it gonna happen? I'm not gonna tell anyone until like I see it on the show to make sure, like, maybe I don't know how this, will they back out? I don't know. So it was an amazing moment. I immediately shared it with my family on our group chat, and I was like, oh my God, my song's gonna be on TV. And I was just really excited because it was a song that I produced and mixed and mastered by myself, and as an independent artist, and as a woman in music who's learning these skills and empowering myself. I thought that was just really epic, and I hope that inspires others to do the same.
Yeah, so this is a self-made song here. Like, you literally did everything for the song.
Yes.
And so that had to be icing on the cake with your favorite Netflix series saying we want your song featured. So season 5, episode 3 of Love
Yeah.
is Blind. So you can check the episode, check out the series, and you will hear Never Fade by SOZI. And while you enjoy uh, the Netflix series. So that is very, very awesome.
Thank you.
So that's incredible. Um, so you've been going by SOZI for a couple years. I think your first release under the name was back in 2019 with Drinking for Two.
Yeah.
So that was your introduction. And then I'm looking at your catalog. You got Summer Views, Teenage Doubts, and then you got busy in 2023.
Yes.
You even did an acoustic version of Summer Views. So so you are a few years into this new stage name. So how you feeling about your growth as an artist since you went with this name? You as you mentioned, you singing, you write, you produce, mix, master, and you learn this all on the fly. Like, how you feeling about your growth as an artist these past few years?
Yeah, looking back to when I first started 10 years ago to professionally pursue this career, of course, I've grown tremendously. And it's easy to say, like, oh, I'm still not where I want to be. There's still more to grow. But you have to take a moment to say, good job on your growth. And I feel very blessed and so thankful to be where I am today and to have stuck to it because it is really rough. And there's always moments of like, should I give this up? Is it going to be where I want to take it? Like, can I make it? And those doubts will always be in your mind, and every goal you reach will still feel like, okay, what's next? What's next? As soon as I got that email, I was like, okay, what's next? And I am very proud of how far I've come, the growth as a writer, the growth as a producer, as an artist, and just like bringing that consistency now of releasing frequently and kind of growing my audience and performing and just seeing the stage presence and my experience as a performer grow, and like how I interact with the audience. And it's been an amazing journey, and I can't wait for it to continue to, build momentum.
Building momentum indeed. So yeah, I've been fan, since your previous name. So, getting up to speed with you now, I'm like, man, she's getting better and better at this. Like, and I'm glad to have seen the younger years and all the way to now. I truly believe that more people are going to be familiar with SOZI in the next couple of years, especially you continue to be active and network and get your name out there. You definitely represent next generation of pop artists. So I feel like sky's the limit for you, and I look forward to seeing you grow and flourish even more. You're gonna be performing at these award shows, red carpets. You're gonna be mingle with some big names and whatnot. I truly believe that you have a very promising future.
Thank
So
you. That
I'm
really means
very
the world to me.
so I'm very excited for you. Uh, so Never Fade is literally a month old. It's on the platforms right now. Um, so obviously, I've noticed that a lot of artists just doing the singles route, like release a song like once every few months per se, for example, kind of like what you've been doing. Um, so has it crossed your mind that maybe at some point in the foreseeable future that you might be releasing more of an EP, maybe a full length album, or are you just focusing more on the singles, just trying to get a feel for how people are feeling? What's your approach as far as where you're going with your future music?
Yeah. As you know, I have released an EP as Sophia Zorian before. And having done that and having that experience with it, I kind of know a lot more than when I first went into it. I think creating an EP and album project is really exciting, and I'm so eager to launch that again. I am focusing on singles right now, and the rate at which I want to release is like monthly slash every few weeks. So I want to get to a point where I am kind of like you said, and like I said, building that momentum is so important because just attention spans have changed, as you know, and the way people listen to music has changed. I want to get to a point that when I do release an album, I have people that are eager to hear it. And although I may start working on it in the next year or two, I think I think having singles is just the best approach where I currently am in my career. But I'm excited because once that album hits, like I know that it's gonna be some of my best work.
Well said. Um, and I think it's definitely working out for you. You know, getting the reactions, the views, and just everything like that that's transpired. So I'm cool with it. You know, take your time. You know, you're young. You got lots of years ahead of you. Um, so you mentioned, yeah, we all, as far as music, as far as entertainment in general, the attention span has definitely changed a lot. Especially if you are a TikTok. We feel like we in this TikTok realm,
Yeah.
like 10, 15 seconds, boom, that's good. Um, it feels like there's a mixed, I guess there's a mixed reaction to it. Like, like I still listen to songs in its entirety. I still listen to, I guess I'm old school at this point. Yeah, I'm old, but
No, everyone listens to music.
so yeah, yeah. I mean, like, what's your thoughts on the attention span as far as music? You think there's some upside, there's a downside, from your perspective as an artist. What's your thoughts on the attention span that we're living in right now?
I think it's more challenging because you have to get even more creative than just your music now. You have to figure out how to make it consumable beyond the art itself of the music. How can you create a video that will grab people's attention? How will you visually represent it, and how will you continue to do that very consistently in order to keep people's attention? So that in that sense it is challenging. It requires a lot more time on things other than music, which of course we would all just love to do the music and nothing else and just wish you had a fan base around it just because. But you know, the great thing is the accessibility now of, TikTok, of reels. You can like post and maybe reach a new audience, whereas before you might have to like go pass around CDs in person. you know there's always pros and cons to all this. I think I just have to adapt to the times, and you have to constantly be in the know, like what's next, and try to create your own trends and your own, stay true to who you are within all of it. But it can be very challenging. I'm actually just going to be diving into all that content very, very soon, so you'll see a lot more of me in video form.
Yeah, so it is indeed challenging times that we are in. Well, when I say challenging, I mean challenging for artists, content creators, um, trying to come up with something different, unique, while I try to be transparent and authentic and
Yeah.
everything, because it feels like people just fall for anything these days and be like, hey, that's good. Um, but it is very challenging. So all you can do is just figure think what's out there and what you can do to stand out from everybody. So yeah,
Exactly.
it's very, very challenging. But I'm thankful for people like you, because you're unique, you're authentic, you stay true to yourself in this cold, cruel industry, obviously. Um, but SOZI has everything that it takes to make it far in this music industry. And by the
Thank you.
time by the time you get all the accolades and all the good that is coming your way, I'm gonna be saying, see, I told you she was gonna be a big name. So yeah, I told you she was going to be a household name. So I truly I'm truly loving this music that you have. So go check out SOZI. Go check out her social media sites. SOZY is literally spelled behind her lovely office there. So just type that and on Google it, and her links will pop up, and her music will pop up as well. Um, it is so good to reconnect with you. Thank you so much for your time, and congrats on everything up to this point. And I look forward to seeing more of you. Um, I have been doing some things since the last time I chatted with you. So usually I'm just interviewing people, podcasts, and stuff like that. Just last year, I started a music show. I call it the Music Monday Jukebox. And
Nice.
basically, it's just me hand picking songs from independent artists like yourself, and I play them on these airwaves. And it was just my way of saying, hey, mainstream music is cool, but there's a lot of talented, independent, unsigned artists. And I say, this is just me. I have some suggestions for you all. Go listen to these independent artists and tell them that Kenny sent you, so that you know where the listeners are coming from. So I
I
will
love
be
that.
so I will be featuring your music on the Music Money Jukebox, especially once you release more new music. So yeah, you on there. You on
Thank you
there by
so
default.
much. Thank you,
So
Kenny. I really appreciate what you do for independent artists because not everybody gives us the time, not everyone gives us the platform. It's all who you know, as you know, in the industry. So I love independent outlets as well, like yours, who, give us a voice and give us a time to share our music. I think that's so beautiful that you give your time to that. And I'm really appreciative. And, you know, I'm happy that you followed the journey and still love what I'm doing now, and that's really exciting for me. Thank you so much.
oh yes, see you see this, see this, yes, that's love. That's love right there. Y'all check out SOZI. Check out her latest single, Never Fade. That's available on all the streaming platforms. Check her out. Her music is incredible. You will thank me, and I will say you're welcome. I'm gonna keep supporting her. Continue success and everything, SOZI, and I promise it won't be another 3 years before I interview you again. It was far too long. That's my bad. I was looking for Sophia, and now I know, and now I found you. I
It's all
found you.
good.
So, uh, you take care. You enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening, and thanks again for your time.
Thank you as well, Kenny. Have a wonderful night.
All right, you too. All right, bye
Bye.
bye. Bye bye. All right.